their captain, number 4, Mitch Osmond. In goal, number 55, Bernd Shipman. Number 16, Jacob Poole. Number 5 is Timmy Mell. Number 17, Derek Gebhardt. Number 22, Stephen Payne. Number 28, Andrew Wheeler-Omanu. Number 7, Isidro Martinez. Number 24, Nazim Bartman. Number 10, Jaden Onan. And number 9, Christian Cheney. Madison is led by Coach Matt Glazer. Our match officials for this evening are referee Michael O'Reilly, assistant referee Brian Condry, assistant referee Marie Durr, and our fourth official is Derek Guerrier.
We've got a massive USL League One game tonight in Cary, North Carolina, with perhaps first place on the line in USL League One. A new goalkeeper, the third to step up for North Carolina FC, taking on arguably the hottest team in USL League One, Forward Madison FC. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. Dean Linke, glad to be joined by Andrew Tate as we get you set for this one. And Andrew, really the standings truly tell the story of what this game means.
Yeah, it's a massive 6-pointer at the top of the table. As you can see, third place NCFC goes against Forward Madison. It's 3 points for the winner, and the loser will stay right where they are. So it's one of them, and for North Carolina, it's the third time these two teams have met. Forward Madison won both of those previous encounters, so revenge is also on the table today.
Andrew, you heard me already mention this is goalkeeper number 3 for North Carolina FC. They are missing a lot of key players. Nick Holliday out with a knee, Tor Saunders with a hamstring, Rafa Mensigan at least 10 days with the shoulder, and then arguably the MVP of the team, Mikey Maldonado, out with a red card. And with Maldonado out, that means Luis Arriaga's got to have a big game. Yeah, and at just 22 years of old, he's an ever-present in this team over the last 3 years. Made his 100th appearance last month, and he's a player, he's a number 8, he can get box to box, but he's going to have to do a big defensive job today. And he's put on a lot of weight over the winter in a good area, Dean. He's muscular, and he's going to have to put that weight around today to stifle the likes of Isidro Martinez in that middle of the park. Well, you nailed it. He said he tried to add the muscle to look like Mikey Maldonado. We'll see if it works. Meanwhile, this Forward Madison FC team, they are absolutely loaded. So many weapons, including coming from their wingback, converted from a forward, Derek Gebhardt. Yeah, I love this player. Really, really positive, explosive, can come inside, go outside, and look for him to cause a real problem down that left-hand side for the Flamingos today. They've got great fans at Forward Madison FC as they'll be peeking in here at Cary, North Carolina. When we return, we'll set the table with the lineups and the kick. The third goalkeeper in the pipes for North Carolina FC, Trevor Mulqueen. Stay with us.
I want to be Like the pretty people on my TV.
Now you can.
All I need are gleaming white teeth.
We can help you.
Can you find the right dentist for me?
Rickabenny Associates, they do cosmetic dental.
Will they hurt me?
No, they're gentle.
I'm terrified of pain.
They're the kindest in the land.
They sound great. Could you repeat their name?
Rickabenny Associates Family Dentistry. Brushhandfloss.com.
So, how do you like your urgent care? At Wake Med, we have urgent care just about everywhere. Urgent care that specializes in orthopedics and kids. My Care 365, open every day of the year. Even virtual urgent care. Yup, urgent care in your jammies on your tablet. So download the Wake Med All Access app and get urgent care that's caring, convenient, and just the way you like it.
Great to be back in Cary, North Carolina. Great to be back seeing Olex Anderson, and great to be back with Andrew Tate as we get you ready for North Carolina FC and forward Madison FC. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll start with John Bradford's North Carolina FC team, and John Bradford has also won Coach of the Year this season, or Coach of the Month this season.
Yeah, they've had a great season so far, and this is what we talked about. This is a big game for them today. A lot of changes, 3 from the last time out. Trevor Mulqueen makes his full debut today in goal. And then in midfield, you see Maldonado is replaced by Jaden Cervania. And then Shaquem Adams comes in on the right to replace Rafa Mensingen. And it's the front dynamic duo up top, Dean, with they've combined for 5 goals in the last 3 games, and they have yet to play together against the Flamingos this season.
All right, that is a look at John Bradford's team. He won Coach of the Month several months ago. Just this past month, Matt Glazer, the big tower of power. This is his starting lineup. It won't look like that, I think, when they get rolling.
No, I'm expecting them to line up in their typical 3-5-2 with a goalkeeper, Burn Shipman, in goal. 8 clean sheets on the season. Marshall in front of him with a back 3 of Kroll, Mel and Osmond, doing a fantastic job this season. The one change for the Flamingos comes with Andrew Wheeler-Aminu coming in for Aidan Macias in the middle. But the front 2 of Oden and Cheney will be looking to add to their tally this season. WakeMed Soccer Park. It was one of those kind of eerie drives. I come in from Chapel Hill. I think you come in from the other side. There was some clouds, a little bit of rain, but right now, knock on wood, Andrew Tate, it looks okay. And always looking good. The Flamingos, they got arguably the best unis in the league. Yeah, I think home, away, third kit, whichever ones they're dressed in, they look great. And Christian Cheney's looking sharp today.
He is a big boy and deceptively quick as well. We're underway. The Flamingos in their familiar pink, North Carolina FC in their home blues. With a shot at first place on the line, DJ Benton comes forward. And you already talked about the fact that Shipman has been outstanding. The man from Germany has been arguably the best goalkeeper in the league.
Yeah, and we got to watch him here. I think it was back in May, Dean. He made one unbelievable save that stuck in my mind. Olex Anderson was clean through on goal from the halfway line, and you fully expected the net to bulge, especially the form he'd been in, and Burn Shipman somehow pulled a paw out of nowhere to tip it over the bar. He's in fine form this season, arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
Kroll plays it in the middle. The rock back there is Osmond. Keeps it pretty simple. Great to see Timmy Mel, who spent some time with North Carolina FC, then went up to USL Championship, then got loaned out to Chattanooga. Of course, North Carolina FC loaded with some superstars from Chattanooga. In fact, they've made a big difference in the turnaround for John Bradford's team.
Absolutely. I kind of joked with John in pre-season this year. He's made a habit of just going out and signing players that have come to WakeMed Soccer Park and caused problems. I remember Garrett McLaughlin scoring a hat-trick for Toronto too the year before that. So it seems to be working well for him, that's for sure.
Cervania can play in the middle, can play on the wing, can hit it with his left foot and his right foot. Here we are on the right side. Here's Shaq Adams. Adams behind the back. Good opportunity for Shaq Adams to make the most of the fact that he's got to get the start on the wing with no Rafa Mensigan. Flamingos. Boy, they play really beautiful soccer. This one a little bit too long for Cheney. It'll go out of bounds. Mr. Consistent, Chris Liu Young with the throw-in. Part of the story for North Carolina FC, Nick Holliday, 17 years young, earning the #1 spot all season long, is going to be out for the season, most likely with a lower foot injury. And Tor Saunders pulled his hamstring in the first half of the last game. In steps Trevor Mulqueen, so they've just added another goalkeeper who may get to play against Sunderland, which that game is right around the corner.
Yeah, it's amazing how you go from third choice to #1 in the space of a few weeks. And obviously it's a really tough situation for Nicholas Holliday. Never like to see anyone get injured, but especially at that young age when everything seems to be going so well for him. But on the flip side, great opportunity for Trevor Mulqueen, 23 years old. Not the tallest goalkeeper in the league, but as we've seen with Nick Holliday and Burn Shipman, you don't have to be a giant to get the job done.
Mulqueen played at East Tennessee State University and the University of Memphis. Here's Navarro, the Brazilian, over to Chris Liu Young. Trying to find Olex Anderson. Timmy Mel steps in. Olex Anderson wins it. Olex Anderson trying to stay with it. Good little tackle punched away there by Osman. Did you think that was a foul, Andrew?
Tough to see from our angle, yeah. But Osman's long legs.
Adams back over to McLaughlin. Good run by McLaughlin. Osman thought he was offside. I thought it was a pretty good run.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, Dean, we talked about the weather. The sun has definitely gone behind a giant cloud at the moment because these are perfect conditions. And I know in talking to John Bradford and going out to training this week, they were looking to have a really hot 45 here and get after them attacking-wise.
Osman deals with the cross from Adams. The Flamingos, they have had just a great season, not only with their win-loss record, but talking to Keith Tiemeyer, who's got a big role with the club, their attendance has been off the charts, and apparently they've got a big crowd watching in Madison tonight as well, as we say hello to all of the great fans of the Flamingos. They've really, really done it right.
Yeah, it looks like a great atmosphere there every game day, and obviously they've got a team now to really back up that support.
McLaughlin trying to get it back to Shaq Adams. Gebhard will drop it back. Andrew Tate, sometimes it works with wingbacks, sometimes it doesn't. For forward Madison FC, it works with wingbacks.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, in going out to training, there was a lot of talk and work on the training field with NCFC this week about how they were going to deal with the wingbacks and the 4-4-2. And you'll see today Perez and DJ Benton working really hard to figure out who's going and who's staying. And the flip side, Shaq Adams and Liu Young on this side. It's just the problems that Payne and Gebhard cause.
You mentioned back on May 13th, Madison winning 2-0 here. What stood out in that game?
It was a really tight game, Dean. I think it was key moments. Luis Perez hit the post in the first half, and there was a wonder strike from Isidro Martinez, 35 yards out. Absolute rocket past Nick Holliday, and then a set piece in the second half with Osman getting up. Really, the two games, both games this season, Dean, they've come down to key clinical moments that the Flamingos have capitalized on, and North Carolina failed to do that. So I know in speaking to John Bradford, he was hopeful today that the tide would turn and his team would maybe get a clean sheet today and nick the goal that they really need.
Reminding you that Northern Colorado, Hailstorm FC at 29, forward Madison FC at 28, North Carolina FC at 27. 1, 2, and 3 in USL League One. Timmy Mel, good little touch. Saw Timmy Mel in Bloomington as Indiana celebrated their 50th anniversary just a few months ago, and then most of those people came to the TST here, which was absolute rocking. It was an honor to call those games. I don't know if you got out here for the TST, but it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was out here on the Friday, Dean, and it was just a fantastic experience. I'm already looking forward to next year. And I've heard stories about it being even bigger and better. But it's a real festival of football.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was interesting how the teams that had the indoor players kind of had a little bit of advantage there with the smaller field, 7v7. But the best part about it was the target score. Oh, that's a good ball. Olex Anderson! Olex Anderson! Oh! Can't get it by Shipman, listed at 6'4", 210 pounds. Shipman, a giant back there.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic ball. I just saw John Bradford applauding his captain here. Actually, it was Lou Young who just fed it over the top of Osmond, around the back of Mel, and
this is trouble, big trouble, and Mulqueen will get it. Boy, Fernandez grabbed a little bit of jersey as well, but no whistle. McQueen got out beyond the 6, Andrew, to take care of that danger.
Yeah, that's classic centre-half play there. Doing just enough to put the striker off, but not enough to get the referee's attention, because there certainly was a pull on the arm and then there was a nudge in the back, but I don't think you're going to get the foul for the nudge on the back, but certainly the first one was certainly a question.
Here's Lou Young. Not been easy going so far for Adams, just trying to find an open lane.
And Shaq Adams' first start for a long time, Dean. I know when talking to John Bradford with the weather, I was out training the other day and I was stood in the shade and I was sweating, Dean. It was that hot and they were pressing as well, and that's something that North Carolina, you'll look to see them do that today, pressing this back three, trying to make sure they don't have time to hit those big raking diagonals out to the weak side wing back. But he was hoping that first 45 Shaq could come out flying and hopefully get the job done for him.
Cervania over to Adams. Headed out of there by Timmy Mel. It'll be a throw-in down near the corner flag. Lou Young will take it. The Flamingos, forward Madison FC's crest, features a plastic lawn flamingo, which is the official bird of the city of Madison. So that works well. McLaughlin, so good at using his body. Osmond all over him. Now they'll knock it long. Pretty good ball onside. Dangers still in and denied by McQueen. Excellent opportunity there by Cheney. He got a great bounce there, didn't he?
I think Mulqueen would, if he could go back and do it again, I think he'd have come out and cleaned that one up, but he got the job done eventually. But yeah, Cheney was onside. It's one absolute monster punch forward from Martinez, I believe. Cheney's in, Mulqueen's nowhere. Navarro's doing his best to put him off. And Mulqueen does a really good job to stay big and get two good paws on it.
Fernandez.
I think this is a very similar story to the earlier meeting here in the season, Dean. I remember there was a chance after 30 seconds in that. There was packed full of action. It could have finished 3-3, and obviously we just played 10 minutes and we could have had 2 or 3 goals already.
Yeah, well said. Here's Perez, who I think's been brilliant this year. Shaq Adams will get the whistle as he goes down. Perez wanted a yellow. I think it'll just be a warning this first time. On that last chance from Cheney, boy, there's a divot that runs about, I don't know what, is that 5 yards? In the 18 there for Trevor Mulqueen. That's a pretty big divot.
Yeah, looks like one of your golf shots there, Dean, doesn't it? You know?
It does. Definitely.
I'd be going back and replacing that one before the groundsman sees it. But yeah, you just see Gebhard there coming inside. It was a heavy touch. He tried to get on the end of it. He just caught Shaq Adams there. Gets a yellow card for his troubles.
Yeah, I thought maybe he would just get a warning there, but straight to the yellow, so that changes the dynamic a little bit here. We're only 12 minutes in and a yellow already issued. Here's Perez looking for Lou Young. Navarro, good job directing Arriaga. Arriaga now on the ball. He's going to bring it back to Fernandez. How good has Perez been, Andrew Tate? I mean, he's been able to play anywhere.
Yeah, Really enjoyed watching him play last year. I think he scored here last year as well, Dean. Another player that comes to Wake Med, really enjoys it, and then they sign him. But he's just a very smooth operator, left, right foot, good physique about him, good set pieces. I don't think there's anything that he can't really do.
Right over the top, trying to find Perez, and he is offside as we say hello to the flock, which is the fan base of the Flamingos for Madison FC. And we also say hello to the Oak City supporters, the fine fan group of North Carolina FC, several of them behind the goal. Forward Madison FC was able to talk to Coach Glazer before the game. First of all, man, he is a tower of power. The guy is enormous, imposing, but yet has this soft, gentle side. I congratulated him on being Coach of the Month, as you see him right there, and he's like, no big deal. He's like, we got to do it every month. And I did mention that they added Aaron Holbein, who was a star All-American for Wisconsin, longtime assistant coach for the Badgers, now going to head up the academy that is under Forward Madison. So good programs attract good people.
Yeah, and I was looking into Coach Glazer today, and I didn't realize his connection here in North Carolina with the Hammerheads. He was down there for a while with the youth club and goalkeeper coach as well. So many strings to this guy's bow.
Yeah, he's also connected to the former assistant GM of the club, Nick Platter, who is now doing other things but stayed in the area. And of course, he's connected down in Fort Lauderdale to the King of Kings, Jorge Acuna. So he knows everybody.
King of the world. I'm just surprised, Dean, that standing next to you, you felt he was a huge figure, Dean. Come on. An imposing figure next to you. No one has that impression on you, I would have felt.
No, he does. He does. You do too, Mr. Tate. Navarro's not a tiny tot either. What a nice man he is as well. I was able to talk to him a couple times about the fact that my wife grew up in Brazil. Him and Rafa, they've got that Brazilian connection.
I wouldn't have said he was a nice man the few times he visited here in the seasons before. Whenever he came in with Chattanooga, it was like the bad boys were in town. You know, comes in, gets the job done, but yes, you've got to see the softer side of Mr. Navarro. I'm glad to hear it.
Big-time player, though, and has made a big-time impact, and then wearing that captain's armband has been huge. There have been a few games where he's not been able to go, and they've not been as sharp without him.
No, he's a massively reassuring presence back there. I don't think he's not a huge communicator, but what he does is he leads by example. He's good on the ball, he's strong, wins his tackles, wins his battles. Would love to see him chip in with a few goals. I remember him scoring a few for the Red Wolves here, causing a lot of problems in the penalty box.
Good ball squared to Martinez. Martinez will push it to the right. Here's Timmy Mel. He played here with Austin Pancho. We had a couple Indiana Hoosiers there for a little bit. Martinez. Boy, he's got a nice weight on that ball. It's going to skip and stay in bounds. Good effort here from the Flamingos. This will work its way back to Kroll. Boy, a brilliant trap. Tough ball there for Wheeler, and he made it look easy. Wheeler on Manu.
Yeah, they're just starting to move the ball now, ask a few questions. Some of those relationships between the outside back and wide midfielder. I think Onan was in a minute ago, and they just missed the opportunity to get in behind. Here you see Payne making the run now, though.
Good run into space. Fernandez comes over, right across and in. Forward Madison FC. They continue to roll, and I think it's the man that we highlighted off the top, Derek Gebhardt, has made it 1-0 Flamingos.
Yeah, and it's wing back to wing back. You said, Dean, they make it work with these wing backs, and they do there. It was great possession, probably upwards of 20 passes, I think, there in a row. Move the ball really, really well. They get the ball out wide. Payne makes that underlap in behind there, picks his head up, and Gebhardt is wide open at the back post. And he has the simplest of six-yard tap-ins, and it's an absolute wonder goal. Could be goal of the week right there, Dean. Fantastic team goal.
dare I say, Andrew, it just came as you were talking about the fact that they were starting to figure things out. And you're right, Stephen Payne got himself open and made the most of it.
Yeah, I mean, they move the ball well. They love to combine and play. And there was a bit of hesitancy and a bit of indecision from NCFC as to what zones were they pressing, were they dropping off? And they just picked them off there and took full advantage. Both teams have had chances early on, but it's the Flamingos that capitalise and get their noses in front.
Madison goal, the 16th minute of play from number 17, Derek
Laughlin.
The assist on the goal, number
Osman
22,
all over him.
Stephen Payne.
Osman not happy with the call. Osman from Australia.
It's a real test of Garrett McLaughlin's hold-up play today, isn't it, Dean? I remember last time out here, you and Emily Gray were just praising Garrett McLaughlin for how well he'd done holding the ball up, and then he had an absolute wonder layoff to Owalex, who thundered it in for, was it goal of the week? I don't even know. If it wasn't, it definitely should have been.
Yeah, it was. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, Andrew. That's the story of my life.
But up against Mitch Osmond today. Big boy to hold off today.
That time it was Timmy Mell who got it away from McLaughlin. Boy, what a great check back by Cheney. Gebhard, good ball to Cheney. Boy, really clean, fun team to watch.
Yeah, and talking to Coach John Bradford, I popped the question to him, who's the team you've been most impressed with that you've played this season? And he said it was Forward Madison.
Look at this ball, onside. Oh, just a little bit too much. Sorry to interrupt you, Andrew.
No, you're good.
Onan, what a ball, what a run as well.
Was that Timmy Mell spraying that one in there?
I believe it was. Onan timed that perfectly, though.
Yeah, everything was perfect, but just that touch. He was the one that played the ball through, I believe, for Stephen Payne. Was the assist to the assist. And there he had the opportunity to get one himself, but just a heavy touch off a great run. A great pick out from the centre-back.
Perez trying to send it all the way across. Kroll is there. That was important for Cervania to win, and he did. Boy, I think Lou Young, if he got it back to Cervania, they're lucky that they did end up getting it back to Cervania after all. Here's Perez. Knows he's got Benton over on the other side. Elects to try to go to Lou Young. Probably should have kept going over to the left.
Yeah, in hindsight, DJ Benton was wide open, but in transition here.
Here's Bartman. Bartman with Cheney showing. Cheney didn't get it. He wanted it. Boy, the extra effort is in play for the team visiting from Madison. The Flamingos, all of the extra effort plays, with all due respect to North Carolina FC, are going to the Flamingos right now.
Yeah, they've certainly got a foothold of the game now and are knocking it around. There's a bit of a lazy clearance from Lou Young there. They had bodies back to combine and play out of it and just hoofed it forward to an area where it was 2 blue shirts versus 5 pink. So emphasis back over to the Flamingos.
Another good ball, angled ball, kept down, knocked out of there by the captain Navarro. McLaughlin, a great two-way player. That was Onan again, who had a really good play. It'll give me a chance to talk to you about Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Gebhard, the choice so far. He's got the goal. It's 1-0 Forward Madison FC on top of North Carolina FC with a legitimate shot at first place of USL League One on the line. McLaughlin is offside.
Oh, that looked really tight to me, Dean. That back three, maybe just falling asleep for a second there. I think that was tight.
Last time out, NCFC got a 2-2 draw at Knoxville. That was last Saturday. Olex Anderson scored opener in the 4th minute, 3rd goal in 2 games, and Garrett McLaughlin scored the 60-minute equalizer to earn a point on the road. Forward Madison got a 1-0 win versus Central Valley Fuego last Saturday. Derek Gebhard, who scored in this game, scored in that game on a wonderfully built team goal, which is kind of the story of this team.
Yeah, they're getting it done at the moment. A lot of 1-0 wins. Best defense in the league. And North Carolina's going to have to find a way to get a goal. They haven't scored in the 2 other encounters this season, much to my dismay. They probably should have had one already today, but they've got to find one today if they're going to get anything from this game.
Adams can't run it down. It'll be a throw in. John Bradford is putting in the miles down there in the coach's box. Chested down perfectly by Bartman. So Gebhard's going to make a run. Lou Young's got to get going. Gebhard with great pace. He's a forward by nature, so he knows what to do inside the 18. We've seen that already. He drops it back. And forward Madison FC stays with it. Ramanu a moment ago. That's Kroll. Now he'll give it to Osman. Mel available if needed. Mel's on it now. 1-0. The Flamingos on top of North Carolina FC. Olex Anderson gets it. Olex Anderson. Numbers are decent. Olex Anderson going to do it by himself. And
Mitch Osman's adamant that Olex Anderson dived there. He's asking for a card. Nothing given, but you can see Olex Anderson picks the ball up. Osman sticks out the leg, but I can't tell if there's contact there. And from Osman's response, he'll tell you that there certainly wasn't. And the international symbol for I want a yellow card as he waves his hand in the air. Referee gives nothing. But that was something that North Carolina have been hoping for, an opportunity to press and win those turnovers and transition quickly. And it was some good pressing there. Olex Anderson picking the ball off a loose pass from Onan. But there wasn't able to generate any real offense from it.
Osman sends it forward. Ooh, Perez. Risky pass picked off by Martinez. Bartman on it now. That was a bad turnover for North Carolina FC. Let's see what the Flamingos can do. Benton is there to save the day. Arriaga, they're lucky to get out of that.
Yeah, well, that's a couple of times Perez has tried to force it a little bit. They're outnumbered in the middle of the park with that sort of box that they can get in there. The Flamingos, at the very least, it's 3v2 in there. Sometimes it's 4v2. And Perez, he's asked to do a lot more work today in a 4-4-2 than he would be in that sort of 4-2-3-1. Good run from Anderson. He's onside here. Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah.
Kroll must have just stepped up at the right time. I could have sworn he was a yard or two deeper than his fellow two centre-backs there. But you can see what the two strikers are trying to do, Anderson and McLaughlin, just those little runs along the line, a little dart in behind one centre-back. They're not far away. We saw Anderson get in earlier, and he was a fraction away from getting the lob over Shipman to go 1-0 up. ESPN Plus. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN Plus. The home to USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
Here at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, it's the Flamingos. Forward Madison FC 1, North Carolina FC, the home team, 0. Lou Young to Cervania. Now Arriaga. Again, no Mikey Maldonado, who really has been the glue in the middle of the park for John Bradford's team. They played over the top, trying to find Olex Anderson. In a battle there with Timmy Mel, Olex Anderson gets there first.
Yeah, you know, Mikey Maldonado's really upset about missing this one. His former club. I'm sure he'd have loved to have tried and settled some scores from the previous two games. He's a player that puts himself about all action. But to pick up a yellow card in the 95th minute, that was I think that one stung.
NCFC 8-4-3 on the season. Lord Madison 8-4-4. They've actually won 5 of their last 6. Interestingly enough, Keith Tiemeyer, who oversees the soccer operation for the team, said that they were in a similar spot last year. And so they know what it's like to be here. Now they want to stay there. That's the key, is to keep on rising up the top there, and they've got a chance to do it here in Cary. Here's Kroll. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, I just said the team they put together this year, for me, I think it's a lot stronger than the squad they had last year. You look at this back three, and this is how they can play with the likes of Gebhard as a wing back, because he's a forward, but the back three behind them just so strong, athletic. Difficult to find a weakness in there. You had the likes of Isidro Martinez, a long-time USL Championship player, and Christian Cheney. You've got quite the squad this year.
Forward Madison's independent supporters group. We've talked about them already. Watching the game, the Flock, they run a charity called the Flock Soccer Foundation, which helps bring soccer to underrepresented communities in Madison. Forward Madison raised over $40,000 for UNICEF's Ukrainian relief efforts with the Ukraine Relief Kit. So, like North Carolina FC, they're doing things right on the field and off the field. I like to see that, Andrew.
Yeah, always great to hear.
Navarro looking for Lou Young. Osmond, he's got a pretty good engine. Covers a lot of ground in that three-back. It'll at times shape up to a four-back and a 4-4-2, but when they're on the attack, that 3-5-2 is imposing, particularly if it opens up space for Gebhard, who's got the goal. Sam Brotherton is on the bench for Forward Madison. He also is a former fan favorite, and looks like a corner kick coming, that earned by Lou Young. So that'll give Luis Perez an opportunity. Adams comes over for a short, but they're going to wait for Fernandez and Navarro to get in and around the 6.
Yeah, and everyone back for Forward Madison.
Driven in, pretty good ball, far side. Boy, it almost snuck through to Olex Anderson, Andrew Tate, who was waiting on that far post.
Yeah, he was like a crouching tiger back there. He was ready to pounce.
Sent back in with all of the center backs still there. Perez will win it down near the corner. See if he can earn another corner. Somehow keeps it in bounds. Good little turn. And one back by Forward Madison FC. This will be sent to Lou Young. This is much better from the home team. Arriaga with the right foot. Bending ball. Finds the head of Fernandez, but just a little bit too high.
Yeah, and Fernandez found himself in a great area just around about the penalty spot. Arriaga puts it right on the money. And he's completely unmarked. Free header. Just can't quite get the elevation to get over the top of it and keep it down. Another good look for North Carolina.
If you're just popping in on this one, a massive game with the number 2 team in USL League One, Forward Madison FC, taking on the number 3 team in USL League One, North Carolina FC. We came on the air talking about their converted forward to wingback Gebhard, and Gebhard has the only goal of the game. The Flamingos lead at 1-0. You said it best, Andrew, when that kind of cloud came in. It's really nice conditions out there for the players, I would think.
Yeah. When I was watching the NCFC train on Wednesday in the blistering heat, it felt like it was 90-odd degrees. The only place that was safe was the shade. And I was watching these guys. Oh, he's offside.
Yep, good call. Flag goes up. Boy, that was a nice flick, though.
But yeah, just watching these guys sprinting, trying to press, and oh, Dean, there was no part of me that wished I was back playing football anymore, because the athleticism and the endurance that these guys have to play at this level now is unbelievable.
Lou Young. Little push right there. McLaughlin still down on the ground. So off that foul, kind of a little water break here for North Carolina FC. McLaughlin looks to be okay. He's tough as nails, number 19. Sent in. And read perfectly there by Shipman. It'll go out of bounds and come back to the Flamingos. It's the final matchup between these two teams. Madison, as Andrew Tate has said a couple times, has won both games by a combined score of 5-0, 2-0 on May 13th right here, and then 3-0 on June 10th.
And those scorelines, they sound really straightforward affairs, but I can tell you both of them were really hotly contested, and just little breakdowns for North Carolina at crucial times, or set-piece moments for forward Madison that they capitalized on. I remember a header from Osman that was just unbelievable service, and then generation of power from Osman was just incredible.
We mentioned Gebhard quite a bit, but boy, Bartman has been good. 2 goals and 1 assist during this latest winning streak. Second on the team in shots and shots on target behind Cheney. Bartman, good soccer player, number 24.
Yeah, he goes under the radar, doesn't he? Just goes under the radar, floats around between that centre midfield and centre back area. And he's a bit of a nuisance, though. Maybe he doesn't get the goals and the assists that you might want from that position, but he's certainly contributing to a good all-round team effort.
Own in. Crawl on the move. Lou Young will pop it. Osman McLaughlin is not afraid to. Yeah, he just said, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll sit this one out.
Read perfectly by Benton. Then the touch gets away from him. Benton trying to claim that was off somebody else, but clearly off Benton. Flock at the watch party in the Forward Club at Breeze Stevens Field in Madison. As I mentioned, Keith T. Meyer, the Director of Soccer Operations and Development, bringing on Aaron Holbein as well. Olex Anderson, good little move. Timmy Mell tracking back. Oh, good touch by Arriaga. Perez, oh yeah, Shipman was off his line, but was it deflected? No. I think he mishit a chip. I'm not sure what happened there. We've seen a lot of divots on the surface. Was he trying to chip it there?
I think he was looking for that little cutter where you sort of swaz it. And I don't think it took a deflection. I think he might have hit the ground, right? Hit the ground, and then you, like any footballer we're claiming, there's a deflection. Couldn't have done anything wrong myself. But there, another little lapse from forward Madison there. We saw Onan turn the ball over earlier. Martinez there, just with a loose touch ball rolling under his foot, and they're giving a little opportunity for the front two of North Carolina to kind of get their teeth into, just not been able to take that full bite just yet.
So here comes Bartman. Back over to Gebhard. He's got the lone score so far. Far side. Deflected, and Cervania will send it long. One back here by the Flamingos. Martinez. Boy, he just makes the game look simple, number 7. Back over the top again. Pretty good ball. And Trevor Mulqueen, goalkeeper number 3 for North Carolina FC.
Yeah, Sidro Martinez, Danish. I remember watching him play 4 or 5 years ago for Rio Grande Valley, and he was just as silky then as he is now. Nothing's changed. Great right foot, great soccer IQ, and he's slotted into this Madison team and really made a big difference.
That's really well said. Exactly how he still looks. Silky and clean. Off the turnover, Gebhard squares it, still loose, yes! 2-0, the Flamingos are flocking right now. That is Bartman. We just talked about Bartman. Bartman's made it 2-0 forward Madison FC. Cervania is down as well, and the visitors from Madison are rocking and rolling.
We're just looking here, there's a Is there a challenge on Sylvania? Challenge there. He stayed down, but it doesn't matter. The goal's been given, and it's such quick combination play from the Flamingos. Gebhard has the angle to shoot, but makes a great decision to cut it back across the face of the goal. And it falls to that man, Bartman. You can see him there get around on the overlap. Fantastic tight combination play. Just continues his run, gobbles up the garbage, and tucks it home into the roof of the net. And it's 2-0 to Forward Madison. And a big, big blow for North Carolina.
Third goal. During this winning streak for Bartman. And all coming just recently here, so he's red hot. Feeling it. Meanwhile, Sylvania's still down.
And there was a coming together there, Dean. I couldn't quite see whether I felt it was a foul or not, but he's certainly in a lot of pain.
To keep us safe.
But the warning signs were there for North Carolina. I think it was just a minute or two before. There was a ball from the left to the right. Back post, Onan headed it off somebody, and it came back again a couple of minutes later. But they've shown look really dangerous when they get into the flow of things. There you can see Onan has a little nibble there. Sylvania's got it. And it looks like Andrew Wheeler-Amino maybe steps. Oh, he's holding his knee, so it must be a little bit of knee-to-knee contact.
Two-time FA Cup winners, Sunderland AFC, right here at WeekMed Soccer.
And it adds insult to injury.
Former U.S. international Lyndon Gooch. Sunderland advanced to the semifinals.
And a mountain to climb now.
In May, and are hoping to return to promotion back to the Premier League this coming season. Get your tickets
Raheem
today.
Summersall, we see warming up now, back from Gold Cup duty. He played a lot of games while he was away, Dean. I think Coach John Bradford said it was close to like 6 games or something he played. It's like a mini season in itself.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit before the game. He picked up a little bit of a groin injury, but John Bradford told me yesterday that he definitely was planning to get Summersall out there, particularly with no Maldonado, and maybe a little earlier than he wanted. We'll see if Sylvania can shake it off. We just heard the longtime PA announcer Mark Calloway remind everybody that Friday Sunderland will be here. Andrew Tate, you'll be on the call for that one with Brian Ware. What can you tell us about that matchup?
Yeah, exciting. Sunderland had a great season in the Championship, the level below the Premier League in England, and very strong team. If you don't know about Sunderland, go and watch their Netflix documentary. But they've got some bright young players. Had a great season last year, but in and around the playoffs, the majority of it. And I'm really excited to see North Carolina and some of the young players and starting 11, etc., get their opportunity against a really strong side in Sunderland FC, the Mackhams, the Black Cats, as they are nicknamed.
And of course, down the road in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, a massive game between Chelsea and Wrexham. What can you tell us about that game? Hey, hang on, this is McLaughlin first. McLaughlin almost waited too long, but then earns the corner kick. That's the right call.
Once again, Osmond in close proximity to Garrett McLaughlin.
Make some noise for this NCFC corner kick presented by Alpaca Pluvia Charcoal Chicken.
Need a big service here from Luis Perez. The last one was close. This will be a huge time to get one back now.
Fernandez now joins Navarro, McLaughlin, and Anderson inside the 6. Adams, that was Benton that comes over, falls to Arriaga, sends it right back in, looking for Navarro. Snapped by Sylvania, who stays into the game. Give you a chance to comment on that. Chelsea coming to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Kenan Stadium. They took the turf out. They got grass down, and
wow,
there's signs everywhere. Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, great occasion, I think, for fans in this area to come and watch some great football. Obviously here at WakeMed Soccer Park or at Kenan, just a great opportunity, right? If you're a Tar Heel and you're a soccer fan as well, you get to combine the two. But Chelsea have got a very new look side, Mauricio Pochettino, and a lot of things changing there behind the scenes. There's lots of outgoings and incomings. And for Wrexham, just the Hollywood story that is Wrexham at the moment. Another great day out for them, and I'm sure they'll take full advantage.
Adams drops it back to Sylvania. A little bit late for Arriaga. Chested down perfectly by Cheney. Bartman
3-on-2 a little bit here. Sylvania trying to get back.
Good transition work here by the Flamingos. Bartman's got one already. Runs right into Liu Young, who slides over, and Bartman's down. They'll play on. Adams has it. 43rd minute.
You just see the difference in transition, can't you, there? North Carolina having to do a lot to try and get a goal here or create a chance. And then when North Carolina goes the other way, there's a block of 5 pink shirts in real close proximity to each other, making it really difficult to find those spaces to get in behind.
Excellent point from Andrew Tate. Here's Liu Young, who does get in behind. Liu Young. Ooh, a nutmeg there, and earning the corner kick is Olex Anderson. Corner kick, North Carolina FC, minute 43, down 2-0. Another corner kick for Perez. Perez right in the middle. There's Osman again getting his head on it. It'll fall to Cervania. Got his body around it. It'll be a goal kick back to the Flamingos, who have the 2-0 lead.
It's a tough one to strike it from there, even if it is on his stronger left foot. Might have liked to have seen him just clip that one to the back post, as I think Fernandez and Navarro were hanging out there, but another chance goes begging.
The Women's World Cup kicks off on July 20. Play along with the Women's World Soccer Bracket Challenge presented by the USL Super League. Win super cool prizes, including a new 75-inch Hisense TV. The bracket launches on Monday. Go to uslsuperleague.com/bracket to learn more. Gebhard staying with it. Gebhard, a little bit of contact.
It's good work from Arriaga there, getting back to help out his outside back. Would like to see him connect the pass after that great work, because now he's got to do it all over again. It's a tough slog in that middle of the park. A lot of work to get through.
Minute 45. Timmy Mel. Gebhard is now down, and Mel is now down. So 2 players down here for the Flamingos. Yeah, you don't think he's imposing? Are you kidding me? Like, what a great guy.
We're looking down on him from up here, Dean, you know? But yes, absolutely. Your neck's going to be stiff tomorrow, Dean.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, coach.
They love him. They love him in Madison. I think he likes being there as well.
Well, I mean, he's put a team together, obviously, from last year. Didn't pan out the way they would have liked, but he's really put the team together in the fashion that he wants, and the team, the way they're playing, the structure, the organization, and the quality of football. They're very pleasing on the eye as well as defensively disciplined. So it's a good combination.
3 minutes.
Goes out of bounds. We're in added time. I think he said 2 minutes. Is that right? 3 minutes. Sorry, Andrew. 3 minutes. Your thoughts on what John Bradford's got to say to his team, assuming that it ends 2-0 here?
I mean, 1 goal will change this game. You know, they've just got to get that 1 goal here against Forward Madison. It's been a tough slog through 2.5 games so far. I had the chances today, but it just hasn't quite gone their way. And full credit to Forward Madison. They've looked good. They've punished some indecision at the back. Look at a lot of corners, a lot of looks at goal in and around. So I think 1 goal, he's got some changes up his sleeve in the second half as well. So I think 1 goal, get that 1 goal, get the crowd behind him, get that belief back. And then for Forward Madison, they put a lot of work into this first half. So we'll see what their durability is like in the second half.
put the big guys in and around the 6, but you got a 6'4" goalkeeper in Shipman, and he'll make that work look easy.
And it always helps when you got Osmond and Mel and Krull just sat in front of you as well.
Lou Young gets there before Bartman. Perez trying to keep it alive. We're in that 3rd minute. Stay with us at halftime. We'll have news and notes from USL League One, courtesy of our main man, Brian Ware. We'll take a look at the standings, upcoming schedules, games, and so much more. Reminding you that next Friday, Sunderland will be here. Get your tickets. It'll be a fun game to go to. Anytime you can bring a team over from across the pond, Andrew Tate, it's a good opportunity, I think, for the local community.
Yeah, and I think we'll see some traveling, some Sunderland fans wanting a nice holiday in North Carolina, and probably some expats that are here living in the States that love the opportunity to come and watch their team play in their new home country.
All right, so that is the whistle. Gebhard with the goal. Cervania took a couple bumps, and off that last bump, Bartman with the goal. It's 2-0. The Flamingos on top of North Carolina FC. Stay with us. Halftime. Forward Madison on top of North Carolina FC by a score of 2-0.
I want to be like the pretty people on my TV.
Now you can.
All I need are gleaming white teeth.
We can help you.
Can you find the right dentist for me?
Riccobene Associates, they do cosmetic dental.
Will they hurt me?
No, they're gentle.
I'm terrified of pain.
They're the kindest in the land.
They sound great. Could you repeat their name?
Riccobene Associates Family Dentistry. Brushandfloss.com.
So, how do you like your urgent care? At Wake Med, we have urgent care just about everywhere. Urgent care that specializes in orthopedics and kids. My Care 365, open every day of the year. Even virtual urgent care. Yup, urgent care in your jammies, on your tablet. So download the Wake Med All Access app and get urgent care that's caring, convenient, and just the way you like it.
Welcome back to Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina, where you've got a top 3 matchup, USL League One style. Forward Madison FC in 2nd place and looking pretty here at the half with a 2-0 lead over the 3rd place team, North Carolina FC. Take a look at the upcoming schedules. We'll start with North Carolina FC, but we'll remind you before we talk about the USL League One games, North Carolina FC will host an exhibition match against Sunderland on Friday, July 21 at 7 p.m.
Yeah, really exciting times for North Carolina. Obviously, got the second half here against 2nd place Forward Madison. Sunderland are coming into town, and then the big one against current top of the table, Northern Colorado Hailstone, who on paper at the moment are the best team in the league, and North Carolina have yet to face them, so that's a huge one to look ahead to.
Really, the schedule's brutal because they're going to want to show Sunderland what they can do, and then they play the first place team 3 on the road, and then Greenville, led by John Hartz, they're always really good.
Whenever we show the schedule, Dean, there's no easy games.
Yeah.
It never looks like, oh, we've got a nice stretch here. It's super, super tough.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Flamingos with the Flock fans watching on.
And just as we talk about, Dean, doesn't get any easier for Forward Madison. Obviously, they've got Tormenta coming in, who are really strong. Greenville, who are on fire at the moment and beat Forward Madison, that 1 defeat in the last 5 that they've had. And then Richmond with Terzaghi, the way he's playing at the moment. Good luck there. So some real tough games there coming up for them, but 4 of them at home. So they could really add to their points tally in July and into that early August period.
Particularly with that great atmosphere that they always deliver. They must be thrilled right now. Halftime in Cary, North Carolina at WakeMed Soccer Park in this critical USL League One matchup. It's the Flamingos rolling 2-0 over North Carolina FC. Back with more USL League One news after these messages.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Madison behind. Now it comes for Valesky. Tries to leave it there for Gleedle. Sam Gleedle. It's a tap in for Christian Valesky. And Monterey Bay are absolutely flying tonight. Bomasoso. Right through the middle. Johnny Rodriguez. Rodriguez scores! Something out of nothing for the Oakland Roots.
WakeMed Soccer Park, Cary, North Carolina, on what has turned out to be a beautiful evening, and certainly if you're a forward Madison FC, extra beautiful as they have a 2-0 lead. Gebhardt and Bartman with the 2 goals. Alongside Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you on ESPN Plus for our coverage of USL League One action. Take a look at some of the scores around USL League One. You said it best, Andrew Tate. Every game is tough.
I mean, look at it. It says it right there, doesn't it, Dean? We've got 3 ties going on, and good luck picking a winner from any of those games. I mean, Ford Madison's leading 2-0 today. I could place a bet the other way, you know what I mean? So, yeah, incredibly tough league, and anything can happen on any day.
Well, we'll remind you, we came on the air showing you the standings. It's worth looking at again, particularly when you look at the number 2 and 3 teams. Remember, the top 6 make the playoffs, Andrew.
And that's going to be the big debate, right? It's who's going to make that top 6? And I mean, you could make an argument right now for those top 6, but look at the teams that are out of it. Union Omaha, South Georgia Tormentor, the reigning champions, sitting in 9th, just super competitive. And then you've got Chattanooga and Central Valley, who've had some changes recently, and they'll be looking to bounce back and make things super competitive. So, but yeah, the top of the table's up for grabs tonight, so let's see what happens.
Brian Ware does such a great job breaking down the news and notes for USL League One.
Yeah, you got the Hailstorm streaking up the table. They started late, didn't have as many games early on, but Arthur Rogers with 3 assists as they defeated Knoxville 4-2 in midweek, and they're unbeaten in their last 10 matches. And then you got Omaha playing some great soccer. They defeated Richmond 4-1 with just 10 men.
Let's make some noise here, though.
Yeah.
NC Courage, they're headed to the final as they smoked Eagle FC. This after a couple 3-0 wins. They'll face Indy 11 for a championship.
And a much-changed team as well. They've had so many players kind of going back to college. The season's gone on so long right now, and But it's fantastic. And Brian Ware's done a great job calling those games. It's fantastic to see so many players that have come through the club and the youth brackets getting the opportunities now at this level, and they're having a great season. Long may it continue.
Heather O'Reilly even snuck in there for a few games playing attacking midfielder as well. Congratulations to the NC Courage U23 team, and we wish them the best of luck in that final against Indy 11. And we'll take a look at the USL Team of the Week.
And Trevor Aman, Player of the Week, leading the way, absolutely on fire for the Northern Colorado Hailstorm, who we'll see here. But Osmond, he's the man from Forward Madison who's done a great job. Backline, 8 clean sheets this season. And then you've got Kelly, set for Charlotte. We all know him very well. Dane Kelly, always in there. Terzaghi, obviously, is the Player of the Month. He's not in there right now, but wouldn't be surprised to see him in there next week.
That is the USL Team of the Week. Always great to bounce around USL League One. USL just flat out does it great at every level. USL Championship, League One, League Two, the W League, and of course, coming a year from now, the Super League. Right on time as we're getting ready for the Women's World Cup. We'll be back with more. The youngsters hoping for a goal from North Carolina FC. Right now, they're scoreless. The Flamingos lead it 2-0 at the half.
I want to be like the pretty people on my TV.
Now you can.
All I need are gleaming white teeth.
We can help you.
Can you find the right dentist for me?
Riccobene Associates, they do cosmetic dental.
Will they hurt me?
No, they're gentle.
I'm terrified of pain.
They're the kindest in the land.
They sound great. Could you repeat their name?
Riccobene Associates Family Dentistry. Brushandfloss.com.
So, how do you like your urgent care? At Wake Med, we have urgent care just about everywhere. Urgent care that specializes in orthopedics and kids. My Care 365, open every day of the year. Even virtual urgent care. Yup, urgent care in your jammies on your tablet. So download the Wake Med All Access app and get urgent care that's caring, convenient, and just the way you like it.
Fans enjoying a little bit of food and festivities here at halftime. Both teams making their way back onto the field to get ready for the second half. Alongside Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke. 2-0 Forward Madison FC. Andrew, let's go ahead and go to work and show you the highlights here in this one. 2-0. North Carolina FC did have some chances, though.
And this was a big one early on. Alex Anderson getting the ball in behind from Chris Liu Young. And he tries to lift it over Burn Shipman, which is not easy. And he just gets underneath it, but that was a really good opportunity for North Carolina to try and break the deadlock. And then coming the other way, Isidro Martinez pumped it over the back line, and Christian Cheney charges it down. Mulqueen stays home and makes a big save there. Felt he could have come out earlier and dealt with it, but he stayed home, and the big thing was that he kept the ball out of the back of the net.
Look at that divot.
But this was right when we saw Forward Madison step up the gears. They'd stroked it around for a good minute or so here, and then it was Onan to Payne to Gebhard, wing back to wing back, and the deadlock was broken. It was great football and a great finish. Underlapping run from Payne, who doesn't even look, just feeds it across the 6-yard box, knows his body's there, and Gebhard, 2 goals in 2 games for him. And he is pumped and ready to roll, isn't he?
Yeah, the Flamingos weren't done, though, Andrew Tate.
And this was Jaden Savania trying to work his way out of a tight situation. Questions there, he gets clattered in the middle, but Forward Madison are not hanging around. Great combination play through the middle. Gebhard unselfishly squares it across the box. Onan's there, and so is Bartman. And Bartman just places it into the roof of the net, but it was great interplay there. Onan, Bartman, Gebhard, back to Bartman. And a great finish and a commanding lead for the Flamingos at halftime.
You said it. The key word was unselfish. I mean, both of the goals truly unselfish as you break down the first half stats.
I mean, you look at it, it looks super even, doesn't it? A lot of corners, a lot of half looks for North Carolina, but the big moments fell to the Flamingos, and they've capitalized. They've looked the silkier, more in-rhythm team, and it's tough with North Carolina, the changes they've had to make coming into this game, and they've made one coming out for the start of the second half with Raheem Summersall coming in. It looks like Shaquem Adams is the man who's made way, so potentially a little something Coach Don Bradford had indicated may happen, so we'll wait to see.
Yeah, you're right. Both of us spending time with John Bradford, and he did say without Maldonado, he was hoping Summersall was going to be able to shake off that little bit of knock he had in the groin area. I talked to him before the game, and he's not 100%, but he's ready to try to make a difference here. They're going to need him.
Yeah, absolutely. His presence in there will free up the likes of Sylvania now to take up a more advanced position on that left-hand side. Perez shifting to the right. So it looks a very similar formation at this point.
So Timmy Mel, remember, he fell to the ground the same time that Gebhard did. So Timmy Mel is going to come out, and Sam Brotherton, another former player for North Carolina FC, another former Big Ten player. He played for the Wisconsin Badgers. John Trask, Keith Tomeyer, Aaron Hobein coached him with the Badgers, where he was an all Big Ten selection. He's bounced around a little bit and now finds himself back in Madison, Wisconsin, which is a phenomenal city. And I don't know if you've been, but it's the capital of Wisconsin, big-time university, massive university, one of the biggest universities in the country, and just a great city, a lot of lakes around. It's beautiful there.
I have not, Dean. There's a lot of parts of this country I've not been to, but yeah, I'll take your word for it, Dean. I know you've seen a lot more than me.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my my bucket list.
Yeah, it's not a bad place to go. Beautiful, beautiful part of the country. It's got a little hidden gem, not just Madison, the entire state, particularly as you work your way up. Perez over to Cervania, just a little bit too strong.
And that just sums up Perez's afternoon, hasn't it? Just things haven't quite come off for him so far. Some of those passes just not quite hitting the way they'd like. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM 157 and the XM Sirius XM app.
McQueen does well to come off to the top of the 18. 2-0 for Madison FC on top of North Carolina FC. Alongside Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke. Delighted to be with you and our great crew. Peter Summers producing, Paul Beam, Ian Lang, Matt McCullough, Brian Ware. And you talk about Glazer and his height. I mean, they don't get any bigger and stronger than Mark Dry right next to you.
Absolute giant. Talk about imposing, Dean. He's right over my shoulder.
Looking down on you.
Yeah.
Middle of the park, Bartman. Boy, we open the show, you put the spotlight on Gebhard, he scores, and then all of a sudden I get giddy on Bartman, and Bartman scores. So you need to start talking about some North Carolina FC players here, Andrew, both of us.
Harry Arga needs to start pulling his weight, doesn't he? We were talking him up in the open as well. But yeah, Gebhard, goal and assist. Big moments. Once you got your goal, he could have been very greedy in that moment, but he pulled it across, and Bartman, right place, right time. Still a long time to go, though.
Yep, plenty of time. Well said. Andrew Tate, my glass half full man. That'll go off of Olex Anderson. What has turned out to be a gorgeous night in Cary, North Carolina. Tim Mel has made his way onto the bench. Looks like he's got a little bit of pain in kind of the rib area, but walking fine, so hopefully he'll be okay. What a big pickup Tim Mel's been as well. There's Brotherton. Brotherton was a regular starter for North Carolina FC, Andrew, as you recall. I mean, he was a fixture in that back line for At least 1 year, but I feel like longer than 1 year.
Yeah, in that USL Championship level. Not a bad replacement to have coming in, but it does force a little bit of a reshuffle with Osman now shifting into that right centre-back slot. He was so strong in the middle of that back three, and he marshals and does everything. Now he's got to help out his wing back a little bit and do a little bit more covering down the flanks.
John Bradford remains standing in his red shirt in the coach's box. He has been pacing back and forth. Sent across, punched out of there by Mulqueen, and a whistle called. It'll come back to North Carolina FC.
Yeah, Mulqueen might not be the biggest team, but he's certainly a character. Really good communicator back there. Besides that one chance, obviously hasn't had a chance to really make a save on the 2 goals, unfortunately. Made that big save from Cheney in the first half. Other than that, he's done everything he could do pretty well so far.
Good ball down the right side, looking for Liu Young. And sliding out is Shipman. Again, listed at 6'4", 210 pounds, out of Munster, Germany. They like him a lot, too. He's given them a lot of reason to like him. A rock back there. You mentioned all those clean sheets.
Oh, turnover.
Garrett McLaughlin. Garrett McLaughlin. Can he turn? Arriaga was behind him, but a little bit too late.
What a chance that was. Fell to the right man. Garrett McLaughlin just couldn't quite get the ball to fall onto that favourite right foot. So I think it was Osman just a little bit loose at the back there. They've done that a couple of times, Dean. A couple of times they've just been a little sloppy at a key moment. But they've been let off the hook again. Going back to Shipman, Dean, the ball in behind looked like a fantastic one for Liu Young, but he was brilliantly positioned, sweeping off his line, exactly what you want as a defender, and even more so as a back three, because there's a lot more space to cover. Just a reassuring presence for the Flamingos defenders. Always where you need him to be.
Navarro, Summersall saves the day. He didn't have a ton of options until Summersall came over. Olex Anderson trying to get it back to Summersall. Summersall's got an extra burst by Brotherton. Summersall squares it, far post. Oh, and Louis Perez just mishit it. It's kind of been that day for number 13. Give Raheem Summersall a ton of credit. He blew by Brotherton.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of them Olex Anderson was setting off, had to come back. He improvises unbelievably well, and Summersall just surging forward. It took him 5 strides, I think, to get to the end line, incredibly. Garrett McLaughlin knows he's not in a great position to finish, and it falls to Perez on that weaker right foot, and he just can't get the contact that was needed. But what a chance. Great play from Raheem Summersall, the half-time substitute.
The ball came all the way through, and I know it's easier said than done, Andrew, but if Perez could have done anything to redirect it far post, it was wide open. The big man Shipman had the near post, but the far post was wide open.
Yeah, I would fancy Louis Perez to finish that one all day long. Just not been his day so far, Dean. Like I said, just some of the passes, that chance. Oh,
Brotherton under pressure, and he falls on the ball. He might get a red, and he just got in the game. And Brotherton does fall on it, and he will be sent out. I feel terrible. This is a fantastic human being. Replaces Tim Mel, has a chance to come back here. Falls on the ball, his hand touches the ball, last line, and the red card, he knew it.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of protest from his teammates, but I think Sam Brotherton's reaction says it all. Martinez has it. He's on the ball, just dallies a little bit, gives Olex Anderson something to chase. And Brotherton just a little slow to get the ball off his foot, and Anderson nips in.
Forward Madison, red card in
And the arm comes out. Last man denies the goal scoring opportunity. And Dean, as we said, 2-0's a dangerous scoreline with 11 v 11. All it takes is one moment, and now there's even more work to do for forward Madison.
I feel terrible for Sam, as Keith Tiemeyer reminding me that he just got engaged to a young woman who lives in the Raleigh area. Their entire family is at the game. She is in Madison with Sam, but they all came back for the game. Meanwhile, he's finishing his degree at Wisconsin this December, Sam Brotherton, as that one goes over the top. So he has a chance to get in with his wife-to-be's family here, and 10 minutes later, he is sent to the showers. And Andrew, I don't know if you spent any time with Sam Brotherton, but he is just a wonderful young man. That's a tough break.
Yeah. Not a lot I can say, really, team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know he was a group of a bunch of players that came out and worked a bunch of stuff on the youth side, and always willing to give up his time. The Kiwi. But yeah, that's how quickly the game can change, can't it? It's cruel sometimes, but he's got his teammates now that'll go out and put a shift in for him, and maybe one of those moments he can look back on and laugh on it if his teammates can pull out the 3 points from this point, which they're tough to break down, Dean, regardless whether they got 10 or 11.
Well said. North Carolina FC, a solid start here, but as you mentioned, tough to break down the Flamingos. They'll play it all the way back to their 6'4" goalkeeper. But for the rest of the game, forward Madison FC will play a man down. Cervania, oh, boy, if he just could have somehow, I know that was off his head, just a lighter touch, then he's got options. He would have had McLaughlin on one side and Olex Anderson on the other.
But you can see how forward Madison's style, it's easy on the eye, and it's what scored that great goal in the first half, but it also gets them into a lot of trouble. They've 4 or 5 times now they've caused their own problems. And that one there, Martinez just dropping off to Brotherton, and they're just a little bit slow in the back. And with Olex Anderson on the prowl, you've never got a moment's peace, and you turn something that was nothing into something. So the challenge now, can they create something? Trying to see how forward Madison have shifted now. Do they go to a back 4?
They did, yeah. It's a solid line of 4 back there. In fact, it's almost like two lines of 4 within 10 yards of each other.
So Bartman drops in as a centre back. No, Wheeler Aminu, sorry. Wheeler Aminu drops in as a centre back, and
Payne goes at, yep.
Yeah, 4-4-1 pretty much.
Yep. Only Cheney up top, and those lines of 4 are on a string. Let's see if North Carolina FC can break down those lines of 4. Benton will bring it back. Looks like Garcia has come into the game for North Carolina FC. We'll confirm that. I saw Fernandez take off his uniform right at the end of the first half. Yeah, David Garcia is now in there with Navarro. So not just Summersall, but Garcia also coming in. And a foul called against Summersall. '59th minute, so a ton of time, especially with that man advantage, a ton of time. You see Ford Madison down 10. Sam Brotherton, former North Carolina FC player at the USL Championship level. Only played 9 minutes and unlucky. Tracking back, last line of defense, fell down and fell right on the ball. His hand touched the ball, and that's it. It's a red card. Nelson Flores Blanco looks like he's going to come in, and I don't think he's coming in on the back line. He's going to come in to try to use his speed on the wing, I would think, especially with a player advantage. Well, I don't know about that. It didn't look like anybody touched Bartman right there. So they'll play on. Coach Glazer not very happy. I didn't call the game earlier in the season, but I called Coach Glazer last year, and he got red carded. He got sent off in that game.
Yeah, I remember Mikey Maldonado got sent off, I think, as well. But yeah, the frustration's building now, seeing a few. I thought Somersault could have been whistled for a yellow card there when he pulled back. The forward Madison player managed to get away with just the foul. So just a few things. Obviously, the red card to Brotherton. And sometimes it could be the reaction that he's picking up a yellow card, Dean.
So he's one card away from joining Brotherton in the locker room.
Sometimes as a coach, you need that, just that little bit of a flare up to remind your players, buy some time, make sure they're up for the fight. Coach Glazer certainly is.
Well, you know what's interesting? If he does get sent out, it'll be another former North Carolina FC player who I think would take the reins, and Neil Lavity, who joined the Flamingos in 2019 and is the longest tenured coach with the Flamingos, where he tried to play a little bit as well. John Pascarella, assistant coach. Jim Launder, who won a national championship way back in the 90s for Wisconsin. We told you about Keith Tiemeyer, and then Paul Phelan, also part of the team staff. So Matt Glazer. They say in the bench, but I think it was directed at Coach Glazer, don't you?
Yeah. There's only one person that yellow card was going to. As Jared Onan trots over to get his yellow card, go get his shin guards. Flores Blanco comes in for Benton. Tough afternoon tracking Stephen Payne up and down that flank all day.
Boy, Payne's been really, really fun to watch too.
Yeah, he was immense last year for Richmond, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
But he's been let loose in this back three, or wing back system, I should say.
Forward Madison, if you followed their progress, particularly with the 5 wins in the last 6 games, they've been pretty solid, salting away games. The big challenge now, but it kind of takes all the guesswork away, knowing that they're going to have to just load up those lines and maybe get lucky to drop one long. At the moment, it's Cheney. Don't be surprised to see Sachero and Conerty coming in soon. Maybe drop Wheeler into the back line. Could be some of the options for Coach Glazer and forward Madison. So far, so good for Raheem Somersault, though.
There's no way that was a North Carolina throw. I think there's maybe a makeup call there. There's no way it was a North Carolina throw. North Carolina quickly picked it up and threw it, and then he's given a goal kick now. So, course corrected. Sorry, Dean, you were saying.
As
Somersault, yeah, you were talking about Raheem Somersault. Yeah, he's coming like his presence in there. You know, he's. I was a little worried for North Carolina looking at the lineup, and he was so attacking. It was like a front six. Arriaga, the most defensive of the six, and he's really not a holding midfielder or a combative player by nature. So it's one that he really needed them to come out all guns blazing and get the goals and create lots of chances. And they created a few, but not enough. And it's good to get Somersault out there to finish the game strongly.
Olex Anderson is onside. Olex Anderson didn't. Oh! Side netting, but it'll be a corner kick. Shipman, you need your goalkeeper to come up big, and he did right there as Olex Anderson so close to making this 2-1, and it's a different game.
And it's out of absolutely nothing. Louis Young's just looking, and he just threads the ball through the eye of a needle. Osman, for once, misses his cue, and Shipman, that's the third time he's come up big against Olex Anderson. And Dean, I think you were pointing there, Garrett McLaughlin wide open inside the 6-yard box, but Olex Anderson only had eyes for one thing. And he was so close to finding the back of the net. Shipman again, massive save.
David Garcia over to Cervania with his left foot, pretty good ball, far side. Louis Perez, it's just been that kind of day for number 13.
Great ball from Jaden Cervania, though. And we're starting to see the cracks in the forward Madison defense. Obviously, trying to figure out, do they get out, do they stay home? And at the moment, North Carolina getting some joy with that extra man. But they've got to take one of these chances. You feel like if they get one, it could be like Bussers, Dean. They could all come along at once. Oh, that was a good battle I felt there. Cheney and Somersault. Referee says illegally so.
Referee's had a few challenges, I would say, in this one. Most polite way I can put it.
It was a big call with Brotherton. Some referees would have shirked that one, you know, oh, he fell on it, or I think eventually the right call was made, but it's a big one.
Could have been a card to Olax on that dive, and then of course you mentioned the throw in. David Garcia. Hopefully Fernandez is okay. I saw Fernandez rip off his shirt right at the end of half. I don't know if you saw that or not, Andrew Tate.
That's the last thing they need, is another injury, right? They're mounting at the moment.
This looks good here. Running downhill, North Carolina FC. Can they find the angle? McLaughlin just a little bit behind him. Boy, you put that anywhere in front of him and he's got options, but it was too far behind him.
Yeah, Perez again, just the execution, just not at his usual very, very high standards. But I wouldn't rule him out correcting that before the time is up today. Got to keep moving it, keep switching the play. Forcing the Flamingos to do the dirty work. Nice cool breeze wafting through Wake Med Soccer Park now.
Feels great. Arriaga. Liu Young. Pretty good weight on it. It'll fall to Flores Blanco. He's in there to make those kind of runs. Martinez. No whistle. Wanted it right there. Boy, Martinez was going around North Carolina FC players like they were cones there for a moment.
Fortunately, he ran down a blind alley, Dean, with no friends.
He did. McLaughlin looking for Olax. Olax is in. Olax is on. And how about North Carolina FC? Olax Anderson Jr. pulls one back.
Oh, and Olax Anderson stares at the heavens. Finally, he finds a way past Burn Shipman. And this Arriaga just rolls it out to the right. And it works its way all the way back out here. They stretch out that forward Madison line, and McLaughlin with unbelievable vision to see his strike partner, the dynamic duo in full effect. McLaughlin, great touch, sets himself, great little clip. Anderson with a great touch and an even better finish. And he finds his way finally past Burn Shipman, 2-1, and North Carolina half the deficit.
Anderson with the goal, but it's worth mentioning that Garrett McLaughlin now has 3 goals and 4 assists since becoming the regular starter in the 3-2 win versus Richmond back on May 17th. That was a game that they trailed 2-0 and won it 3-2. They'd like the same scenario here.
Oh, my word. And you wouldn't rule it out at this point, Dean. You're looking at forward Madison, and they were in cruise control at half-time. Everything was going their way, but we've seen too many soccer games, and I'm sure the viewers have too, to know that the game was done. You felt there could be a twist in the tail, and the referee certainly helped with that. And what a moment from Garrett McLaughlin to his strike partner there. And a lot of time still to play.
Bartman looks like he's ready to come out as well. Nazim Bartman from South Africa. He's got the water bottle, and we had just commented that we thought the big, tall man, Mauro Gerald, 6'5" out of Venezuela. Long, lanky player wearing number 14, and Connerty. It's as if Keith Tiemeyer is right here with us. Connerty from Grand Rapids, Michigan, also going to come into the game.
Not just yet, he's not, Dean. Some trouble with the fourth official, I think, on the board and passing of messages, so they'll have to wait. Bartman's down again.
So Bartman goes down, so Cicero and Connerty still waiting.
I think he's suffering from a case of cramp there. Put in quite the shift in that first half.
Nelson Flores Blanco. They'll switch it. Perez, overlapping run. Lou Young looking for options. Better one might have been Cervania. Stays with Perez, back across again. Knocked away by Osman. Here's Perez again. Oh. And it goes off the Flamingos.
He's feeling it a little bit now, Perez. Looks like he's starting to get in the groove. Sent Martinez flying there with a little fake.
Ooh. Garcia with not the best pass there, looking for Cervania. And going the other way with it now is Onan, who's had a good game. Connerty and Cicero looking to check in for the Flamingos. Max Flick hoping to get in for John Bradford. He's with Mike McGinty, his main assistant. Alex Anderson Jr. trying to put some pressure on that back line. So is McLaughlin. McLaughlin.
Good pressing from North Carolina. No short options to try and play through.
Yep.
Shipman goes long and straight to a blue shirt.
Yeah, he had no other choice. McLaughlin looking for Olex Anderson Jr. Oh, it goes off. Oh, mine. Back to his head. Shipman gets enough of it. Goes off the crossbar. Falls back to Olex Anderson. Didn't have the angle. Falling away. And parries it. Not on goal. So close to having this one tied at 2.
Oh, my word. What a save. And then Anderson, he's down and he's up in a flash. He's almost too quick for himself there. Does unbelievably well to get his studs to that. Off the back heel of Bern Shipman.
Oh my goodness.
And he has time to sort of maybe bring it down or do something with it, but unbelievable effort. That was play from Garrett McLaughlin as well.
But that was 5-0 on Shipman, but then he used the back of his cleat, goes off the crossbar.
Just as he drew it up, I think, right? Yeah, I've been working on that one in training. The back heel save. What a save. How has that one stayed out?
Let's take another look at it. How does it not go in?
I mean,
through the legs and then no way. No way.
Unbelievable. Save of the week, Dean. Save of the week.
And look how fired up he is as well. Look at this touch from Olex Anderson Jr. First of all, how's he get to it?
It's unbelievable.
Oh,
all you can do is pray as a goalkeeper there. I mean, fantastic all round, fantastic play. Out on the right, Garrett McLaughlin looking for his teammate. Anderson does everything right, doesn't do anything wrong. But that man, Bern Shipman, oh, as he shanks one out of bounds. Actually, great pick out. What am I talking about now?
Olex Anderson Jr. almost with the brace. Twice he's been named to the USL League One Team of the Week. Has 34 international appearances for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where he scored 15 goals for the national team. Made 17 appearances and won an MLS Cup with the Sounders back in 2016. And he still looks like he's got some really young legs out there. He has shown us the white hair, the blue hair. I was expecting the red hair at some point. Has he shown the red hair yet?
I don't think I've seen that.
Wow, what a tremendous little flick. I mean, how he got to that was amazing. And Shipman, if he's honest with us afterwards, I think he's got to say he's lucky there, right? I mean,
yeah.
Or did he move his feet like knowing that he was going to do that? There's no way.
It's a reaction though, right? If he plants and he stays still, it's a goal, but his
He did something.
There's something, yeah. You do all you can, and I mean, top-class goalkeeper. And unfortunately for Alex Anderson, he had the upper hand for a moment there, and normal order is restored with Vern Shipman. Well, Christian Cheney and Daniel Navarro making friends. How many times have those two done battle over the years, Steve? I think someone's off the Christmas list.
There'll be a new post-game dinner with those two. But now you got Cheney, and then over on the other wing, you got the 6'5" Cichero. Look at Olex Anderson Jr. Little push right there. They'll play on. Olex Anderson Jr. McLaughlin wants it. McLaughlin! Oh, my word. Shipman with another save. They did think Olex Anderson Jr. fouled. They may have a legitimate point there, but the referee's been fairly consistent on not calling that. He didn't call it there. McLaughlin, and it's Shipman again with a big-time save.
This unbelievable performance from Vern Shipman. Absolutely unbelievable. It certainly looked like a foul, but the referee said no.
Perez delivers it in off the head. What a great flick right there. The flick coming from Flick.
And here we'll see it. Anderson sets off. There's certainly a nudge in the back. Wheeler-Mina makes the most of it, but what a foot save from Shipman. If he doesn't make that save, it's 2-2, and I think we could have said that on many occasions today. Wheeler-Mina just steps across, and I think he knows the contact's coming, and it comes, so it's still a foul.
Boy, I mean, Shipman, 6'4", getting those legs wide.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is single-handedly keeping his team in front at the moment.
We're a minute 77, still plenty of time. Perez, high lofted ball, headed out of there first by the Flamingos. Arriaga miss-hit that one.
That was his moment, Dean, to restore your faith in picking him, you know? Never again. I was saying single-handedly, Dean, but it's single-footedly, isn't it? It's his left foot, I think. No, it's his right foot, the back heel, wasn't it?
Right foot first, left foot second.
Just double-footed. Double-footed, keeping them in this game.
Double-footedly.
Yes. Well, using great English here.
Wow, we got ourselves a game here. Coach Glazer has got the yellow card, and since the yellow, he has been sitting down. Neil Lavity has been roaming, much like John Bradford on the other side. John Bradford, so loyal to NCFC Youth, led by Gary Butte, the longtime CEO, who does a wonderful job. NCFC Youth, without question, one of the premier clubs in the country. Youth clubs.
I'd certainly like to think so, Dean.
Indeed. Navarro. Nelson Flores Blanco came in for Benton, and he's knocked to the ground.
I think Matt Glazer's almost laughing at the moment now. There's not that much different, I think, between that one and the challenge maybe on Wheeler-Mina. Flores knows the contact's coming. A bit mystified by it all, but his team hanging in there, that 1-goal lead.
Martinez, the one-man wall here for forward Madison. They lead it 2-1. They're down a man. Cheney sends that out. Osmond sends that one out. Cervania keeps it alive to Arriaga, who'll bring it back here to Nelson Flores Blanco. Now Perez, who's over on the left side, gives it back to Flores Blanco. Now plays for Hugo Perez in the El Salvador national team. Arriaga. Step offside. We're in minute 80. Alex Anderson Jr. helping Mr. Shipman, who's got to be the player of the game where it stands right now, the goalkeeper for the Flamingos, using both of his feet to save the day and keep it at 2-1, down a man.
Something tells me Dean he's going to have to make one or two more maybe before the end of time.
So come back to Mulqueen. NorCal rivalry takes center stage when the USL and ESPN continues. Alex Dixon leads a potent Monterey Bay FC attack against Paul Blanchette and a staunch Oakland Roots SC. It's Monterey Bay FC and Oakland Roots SC Saturday, July 15 at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. That's tonight. Back across. Looking for Flick. Interesting decision, and they're going to give Flick a yellow.
Clumsy tackle from Max Flick, trying to make something of nothing there at the back post. He was always second favourite. And Tichero gets a clattering for his troubles there. But it'll allow him to take some time off the clock.
NCFC yellow with the 81st minute of
Give his
play,
teammates a chance to get a drink as well.
Flick.
As you see, Onan and a number of players now getting the stretch. Trying to work out some of that lactic acid.
Sichero from Venezuela played 3 seasons for the Charleston Battery in USL Championship, considered one of Oklahoma's top prospects from the 2014 class, scored 24 goals at SMU. As you see Max Flick.
AFC right here at Weekend Soccer Card next Friday night, featuring former U.S. international Lyndon Gooch. Sunderland advanced to the semifinals of the USL Championship.
Flick's not had a lot of opportunities this season, Dean. You know, look back to 3 seasons ago, I think he was the Fans Player of the Year. And he's a guy that's been around this team for a while now, just a great character. And talking to Coach John Bradford, he's just all he wants is for the team to win and do well, and whether he's in the team or not, like, great attitude. But in training this week, he was, by all accounts, absolutely fantastic. I think they were trying to play against the way Madison were going to set up, and he was doing a best impression of Stephen Payne. He was bombing forward, causing all types of problems down the right. So great to see him get on the field today, and in true Max Flick fashion, I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up with something.
We got a lot of time left. 82nd minute.
I think there'd be a fair amount of stoppage time.
Indeed. Yeah, a lot of subs, the red card. A goal for North Carolina FC, all of that will add up to minutes. Perez drops it perfectly. Flick tries to send it in as if he was listening to Andrew Tate. Let's see what Flick can do. He'll lose it there. One back, though, by North Carolina FC. Arriaga will switch it over to Flores Blanco. He's got Cervania. He's got Olex Anderson Jr. Flores Blanco with his right foot. Flores Blanco stays with it. Now they'll say he fouled. Huh. I didn't see. I saw the ball bounce off him. I didn't really see a foul there, though. And Summersall. Huh.
There's been a few head scratches today. We'll put that one in that column. I think back to that moment in the first half as well, Dean. I think was it Onan that got in, and there was the tug from Fernandez and the nudge, and just not easy being a referee. Big decisions.
Massive.
Yeah.
Anytime Forward Madison has the ball in this situation, ooh, man, I tell you what, that goes in, and good night.
It's a great hit from Connerty there. Caught that one. Sweet as you like.
Eric Connerty Grand Rapids, Michigan. Played for the Western Michigan Broncos in the MAC, helping them win a couple MAC titles. And another player down here, another card issued. A card going to Connerty.
Flores is wide open.
Instead they go central to Arriaga. Flores Blanco still wide open. Cervania now gets it to him. Nelson Flores Blanco. There's a handball, so it'll be a free kick opportunity here for North Carolina FC. Preston Pop, who came up through the aforementioned NCFC Youth Academy, getting ready to check in wearing the double 8s. Well, we've talked a lot about Mikey Maldonado, another player that they're missing who just started out just guns a-blazing is Rafa Mensigan. It would be great to have right now.
Absolutely.
Perez just trying to put the right touch on it.
Yeah, it was Cheney in there doing the hard work there, getting his head on it. A few blue shirts sniffing around him. Big header there, doing the work in his own box this time.
Corner kick, North Carolina FC. They trail 2-1. They have played most of the second half with a man advantage after Sam Brotherton 9 minutes into the game as he entered to start the second half for Timmy Mell. We got a player down for forward Madison FC. They're claiming that the player was kicked. You can see Shipman trying to claim that. We are going to have a lot of added time.
McLaughlin's foot is raised, but he manages to pull his foot away from it. He may have caught him with his knee, but brave header from Martinez. Not just a silky midfielder doing the dirty work there in his own box. And the game just petering out the way Ford Madison would like at the moment. Taking a little bit of the sting out of it, a little bit of rhythm and from North Carolina. I think they can just defend balls in the box all day, Dean. I think they'll happy to sit on that 18-yard box and allow North Carolina to whip balls in from out wide. They've got to find ways to go centrally and get in those little channels down the sides of the centre-backs. Everything in front of him, I feel like Mitch Osmond will break the clearance record.
Yeah. All right, so Navarro is going to come out. I'll give the captain's armband to Raheem Summersall. Now they'll pass it to McLaughlin.
Restart with a drop ball. Interesting to see how North Carolina reshuffles now. Is it a fluid back three with Garcia and Flores, and Summersall sit a little deeper?
Pops, first touch, got away from him, but he runs it down. Summersall. Nelson Flores Blanco, bad pass from Summersall.
Tell you what, Dean, if this was in the Men's World Cup from this past winter, I think we'd be looking at about 15-minute stoppage time.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas my gut tells me we're probably looking at about 8, but we'll see.
8 sounds about right, Andrew Tate. Summersaw, the second ball needs to be won by McLaughlin. Headed out of there by Osmond, as you just mentioned, all of the clearances that he's had. Good job by Garcia to find Flores Blanco. Let's see what the straight offense for defense Pop for Navarro will do, if they can find Pop, or if Pop can find Olex Anderson Jr. or Garrett McLaughlin. Nelson Flores Blanco. Boy, right now, I mean, look at all of the pink jerseys. Just, they're all like 10 yards from each other. Down a man. Now they get it out wide. Good idea. Flores Blanco. Little give and go. Olex Anderson Jr. by himself. Deflected. Summersaw, quick throw in. Cervania's got some time. Garcia. It's almost like there's just one in the back. I mean, that's it. I mean, Summersaw has dropped, but well done, Andrew Tate. Perfect form for my main man, Andrew Tate. 8 minutes. Staying on, no, offside.
You wonder who that one's for, right, Dean? There's 3 of them.
Yeah, I don't think Nelson Flores Blanco was offside. I do think Pop was, though, and I think he was close enough.
That's where Flores is frustrated. It's one of them where maybe the assistant's got to keep his flag down a little bit. It's tough from that angle, though. You're a long way away to figure out who's going for the ball. And he certainly made a movement towards it. As much as I'd say, Dean, I'm more disappointed that I have 8 minutes and that I'm correct. I was hoping for a little bit more time, a little bit more action today.
I understand.
This game's been a good one.
Two goals in the first half for forward Madison FC, known as the Flamingos. It's Osmond who gets in the way of McLaughlin. Osmond, just an unlimited power to his engine. He just never stops going. Olex Anderson Jr. trying to hold it up. Olex Anderson Jr. Sometimes I'm not sure he even knows what he's going to do, as he does earn a corner kick. Well done.
Yeah, I think regardless how this next 5 minutes goes, I think Mitch Osmond's unlucky to not be man of the match. There's only one person that's getting that.
Yeah. Perez. Pop's moving around. They go to Pop. Goes to Summersaw. How about North Carolina FC? Olex Anderson Jr. with the brace.
And the protests, Shipman's claiming there's a handball or an elbow or some type of motion to it, but the referee and the assistant are saying nothing other than there's a goal. It bounces around. It's tough to see in there. The reaction of most of the players around it is just disappointment.
Summersaw got a ball, he got a touch on it.
Was it with his head?
I think so, yeah. And then Olex Anderson Jr. in fuego for North Carolina FC.
NCFC goal in added time from your number 9.
2-2. How about North Carolina FC?
How about him, Dean? How about him? We knew the second half had the possibility of something big, and it certainly delivered. Olex Anderson going the 90, Dean. Something you don't see very often.
We talked about it every game last year.
And I was listening to you and Emily Gray talking about the last game when he got pulled off as well, and I was like, oh, there's another one. But he's I tell you what, he's kept plugging away today. He's missed a few and had some bad luck with Shipman coming up big, but that one, right place, right time, great finish. And he's not done yet.
No, give Summersaw credit too, though. He got to it. Good move by Pop. Oh, he needed to hit it. Hit it! Oh my goodness, how does he not hit it? Just to see if it pings off somebody.
Yeah, I think he's frustrated with himself. But great character from this North Carolina team to bounce back in the second half the way they have.
Robert Screen, who is from Raleigh, North Carolina, a 5-year starter at the University of Kentucky and was captain in his final season. Kentucky plays big-time soccer, so Robert Screen, who's from Raleigh, North Carolina, he's going to get a run here.
He's a player they've used quite a bit off the bench this season. Reliable player, good on the ball. I know Coach John Bradford keeps tabs on all these young boys as they go through the academy, and whether they stay here or they go off somewhere else, he'll tend to tune in and watch these players do well. I know this afternoon he was watching the North Carolina FC under-13 North team competing in the national ECNL semi-final, so keeps himself busy, keeping tabs on all these players.
Olex Anderson Jr., though, with the brace. Screen's going to come on. We are 5 minutes into 8, which will probably become 9, I would imagine. Olex Anderson Jr., 9 goals rather, and 4 assists on the season. McLaughlin now with 5 assists on the season. Somersault gets his first point of the season and has put North Carolina FC in a position to at least get a point, where that did not look to be the case at halftime. It looked really far from that being the case, Andrew Tate, I would say. 2-0 at the half.
It was easy to feel sorry for yourself and just come out in the second half and get more of the same, but they've kept plugging away. Big decision from the referee, got one in their favor, but they've created some really good chances in the game today, and you wouldn't argue against them getting the 3 points, but I've also got to give credit to forward Madison. I think they've had some big decisions go against them, and right now they're clinging on for a point. Many other teams right now would have gone under.
Screen takes that away from Louis Perez. That was a good play from Screen.
You look at how tired some of these players are out on that pitch right now. Is there one more chance?
You just said it, Andrew Tate, a moment ago, that North Carolina FC might be thinking about 3 at this point. Let's see. Oh, Olex Anderson Jr. just barely offside as he slipped off of Osmond, stepped too early.
Just a little delay on the pass, I think, there. Frustration. Because you can see this forward Madison team, they are absolutely dead on their feet. You see all 10 players in the field walking with their chin tucked on their chest.
Yeah, even Osmond.
Yeah. They're ready to get off this field and get on the plane. They'll take the point.
Remember, forward Madison with 2-0 and 3-0 wins over North Carolina FC. They had a 2-0 lead in this one. Sam Brotherton, former North Carolina FC player at the USL Championship level, unlucky, falling last line of defense onto the ball. Here's Olex Anderson Jr. Olex Anderson Jr. Does he know McLaughlin's over on the right? Instead, he'll go to Perez on the left. So Perez is on it. Perez deflected. Ooh, and Shipman bobbles it for a second with Olex Anderson Jr. ready to pounce. Shipman. It's not every day you see the goalkeeper as drenched as all of the field players as well.
So we're at 99th minute right now.
Cheney called for the foul. I gotta believe he's gonna give North Carolina FC one more shot at it here. Let's see what happens. Nelson Flores Blanco on a dime to Flick. Flick can't handle it. That's unfortunate. That wasn't Flick. That was Pop. Flick was going to make the run. Oh, if Pop could hang on to that, Flick was going to make the run, kind of what you were talking about.
Yeah. Ooh. Ay, ay, ay.
Quick throw in, Summersaw.
Oh.
Now Cervania is going to get a card.
And that might be all she wrote, Dean. Osman talking with the coaching staff there. He was wanting to go forward for one more roll of the dice here. They're debating whether to stick or twist. And they're going to stick. He's going to stay home. Not worth the risk.
They keep the camera on Cervania, even though it felt like the referee was looking for a little more camera time here. Well done by our crew again. Peter Summers, Paul Beam, Ian Lang, Matt McCullough, Mark Dry, and Brian Ware. With Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke. Final seconds of this one. This is a pretty good ball sent in. The Flamingos not giving up. Oh my, somehow got loose. Wow. And Olex Anderson Jr. will close it out. He gets 2 goals in the second half. The final score, Forward Madison 2. And how about North Carolina FC? They get 2.
Yeah, how about it? What a great game of soccer. It's a game of 2 halves. 2-0 to Forward Madison in the first half. Great comeback from the home team, North Carolina FC. They get a point, and it keeps that top of the table really tasty going into next week's fixture against Northern Colorado.
What a difference a half makes. 2 goals in the first half for the Flamingos, 2 goals in the second half for North Carolina FC. For Peter Summers, Paul Beam, Ian Lang, Matt McCullough, Mark Dry, Brian Ware, my main man Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke saying, how about North Carolina FC? They get 2 in the second half. Your final score, North Carolina FC 2, Forward Madison FC 2.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.